Hello. So, what is the current state of things? I am in Korea. And before you ask the age-old question, I am in South Korea. Also, you'd think the weather would be like kind of nicer because it's August now, but it's like so hot outside. It's so hot inside too because it's humid. So I'm like trying not to touch anything because it's just so hot. Oh my god. Staying hydrated and positive is what will get you through. So obviously the jet lag has kicked in and I decided what might be more fun than looking at some footage from a little weekend trip to Boston that we took last week. Nothing! We were there for like less than 48 hours, but we managed to go to the museum and look around for about like 3 hours. And while we were there, I was like, wow, some of these paintings are pretty cool. So I'll like show you some of the paintings that I saw and I thought were cool, and then tell you how I felt about them. This is gonna be fun because I know absolutely nothing about art, but art doesn't judge. You know when you're just so delirious to the point of no return? Yeah. Also, just in general, something that I love about this though is that you can know absolutely nothing about art, like nothing at all, kinda like me, and you can walk into a gallery, look at a painting, and collect so much information just by looking at like the colors, the subjects, even like the painting style, and see all the little hints and like secret clues that they give you about what might have been happening at the time it was created. Especially if it was a painting that was trying to convey like a political or religious message or just about the state of humanity at a certain point in time. It's very like interpretive, but not, you know? And then to have all the artists from certain periods of time with their own perspectives and opinions and creative styles, and then to just dump all that chaos into one gallery and then make you digest like everything in like less than 5 hours is absolutely fucked up. Art is actually like so much information. I almost think analyzing a bunch of different pieces of artwork is equivalent to like reading a textbook because of just how much information you can get, you know? Maybe because it's summer too, and like that was the first time in like 3 months that I was like critically thinking, that it made my mind just go like, wow. But like, I don't know, it was really great. I feel like we should make this a regular thing. Anyways, let's get started. Okay, so this is the first one. This one was so cute. It was such a tiny painting, and it's like, obviously there's a giant dead tree in the middle, and winter is usually thought of as like a dark and gloomy time, but I don't know, like the little people look like they're having kind of a good time, and it's kind of like, it gives me like a happy vibe even if the setting is not supposed to be, you know? I don't know, I just liked it. There's a squirrel. It's a squirrel. Like, there's nothing else that I need to say. It's a squirrel. Okay, now, obviously this one is one of Monet's well-known paintings of a haystack, and I was like walking into the whole Monet exhibit which they had there. I was walking into it thinking like, you know, I didn't really know what to expect, to be truthfully honest, because I'm uncultured. Anyway, so we walk in, and there were so many people just like looking at these paintings in awe, and at first I'm like, it's a haystack. But then when I kept looking at it, I was like, oh my god, it's a haystack. Like, it was really good. Okay, wait. Here are the other haystacks. And it was kind of like he would paint as the sun was setting. So he would focus on one haystack, paint that haystack, and then kind of like shift his picture over to the other side where the other haystacks were, and maybe the sun and the light hit the other haystacks differently than the first haystack, and it was just so cool to see the contrast right beside each other. They're literally just a bunch of haystacks chilling as the sun goes down. Like, can you imagine how peaceful that scene must have been? Honestly, my respect for this man went through the roof after I realized, wow, art can be made from haystacks. This one is also a very well-known Van Gogh painting, and is it a Van Gogh painting? Hold on. Yeah, it is a Van Gogh painting. A lot of people were standing there too, and I was like, of course, like very, very impressive. I don't know. I didn't get any like feelings of inspiration from looking at it right off the bat. Was it my favorite? No. Was it cool? Of course. Like, great job. Could I do the same? Absolutely not. The only reason why I like this one is because to the left and to the right and all around it was just a lot going on with, like people doing their thing. And this one just stood out of all of them. This queen-like woman standing with a giant sword and a feather pen. I don't know, I just love the way she was standing there. Like, she looks condescending yet not, and it looks like she's kind of just like floating in the clouds, so she's a very respectable person, I'm assuming. I don't know, vibes were good. This one was my absolute favorite for so many reasons. Like, they had a bunch of benches, and I sat down on a bench, fully looked at it for like 20 minutes. Almost got emotional about it. Like, I was fully just trying to make up a story of what was going on here, because obviously we see this like perfectly beautiful, well-dressed dame who's dancing with this like man wearing a bloutfit, which is a blue outfit, blue on blue with a straw hat. Obviously, when you look at the people in the background too, he doesn't really like match with the crowd. People are minding their own business, but they somehow met earlier in the day, in the town, whatever. He spotted her instantly, like, oh, she's so gorgeous. And then he's like, I need to see this woman again. So she goes on with her day, and later on he hears about this party that's going on in someone's backyard, and he's like, what are the odds that she's gonna be there? So he waits in a bush all evening, puts on a little hat to hide his face, he doesn't really want people seeing him. And then finally, at one point, he spots her and he's like, oh, I need to go dance with her. He like inconspicuously joins the line, joins a circle, whatever is happening, and then there's a brief moment where he dances with her and she's like, you're quite a good dancer. And he's like, yeah. And then he has to go back to his regular life because obviously he's bound to get kicked out of this party sooner or later, so he has to go. But she's like, it's kind of like a reverse Cinderella. She's like, but when will I see you again? And he's like, I'll be around. And then they never see each other again because love is dead. I'm just kidding. Okay. No. Yes. No. Yes. No. 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 Okay. Whatever. Fine. Love isn't dead. So, great. She runs away. She's like, she packs a overnight bag. She steals some of her parents' fortunes and then she sells it. And she's like, I'd rather live a poor life with you than not have you at all and have other things. And he's like, wow. And then they just dance together like this forever. And I love it. Okay, thank you for joining me for this little art session. If you do want to take something from this video though, let it be this. Claude Monet walks into a computer store and he's looking for something to buy. So he walks up to the counter and he goes up to the person working at the counter and he's like, hey, what do you got? And the person working at the counter, knowing it's him, is like, oh, could I offer you the brand new Monet tour? Let's pretend that never happened. So here is a cute little video of the Boston Harbor. Yay! Bye!